Without further ado, I do want to get us talking with our students who've stepped up here this evening. I'll quick introduction about myself. I'll be the moderator for the evening. My name is Will Sacco. I'm director of admissions at Worcester School. This is my 10th year at Worcester, which is crazy to say, a decade on this excellent campus. Been very blessed. I'm a history teacher by trade, moved over to admissions, and I also coach the boys varsity tennis program. So that starts next week. So I'm getting pretty excited. The snow is melting. But I do want to introduce our students here. So why don't we go from Boston to Emily, Abby, Piper, Levi. All right. So Boston, why don't you start us off? Introduce yourself.
Okay, I'm Boston. I'm in fifth grade. I joined last January, and one of my favorite lunches is pancakes.
I'm Emily. I'm in seventh grade. I live in Reading, and I joined this past December. And my favorite food is probably the potato leek soup with the bread.
Hi, I'm Abby. I'm in seventh grade. I live in Richfield, and I started September. And I would say my favorite food at Worcester is probably the pancakes too.
Hi, I'm Piper. I'm a freshman. This is my second year at Worcester, and I live in Richfield. And my favorite lunch is probably the sushi.
Hello everyone, I'm Levi. I'm from Somers. This is my second year at Worcester and I'm a freshman. My favorite lunch is probably the mac and cheese that Chef Rick makes.
Yeah, usually loaded up, that Chef Rick mac and cheese. Thank you all for introducing yourself. And I want to add to that arrival to Worcester. So many of us come from different places and spaces. You've all referenced a bunch of different towns and cities. When you first came to Worcester for a tour and you were walking around, what'd you see? What'd you notice? What caught your attention? And truthfully, what really brought you to campus, right? So Piper, you came mid-year last year as an eighth grader. What brought you to Worcester?
Yeah, so last year we shadowed, and one of the things, or not shadowed, sorry, toured. And one of the things that I really loved was seeing all of the classes, and especially the people in my grade, just seeing them have fun and just connect with each other in and out of classes, and just talking and laughing, and just having a great time, and talking with the teachers, it's not even a big deal. They're just super calm and chill, just having a great time. So that was really exciting for me to see that I could be that, that could be me too. So that was really great.
Yeah, that vibe we hear a lot about in the admissions office you're talking about. And you came from public school, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, excellent. So it was just a different vibe altogether.
Yeah.
Great. Abby, would you mind sharing how you came to Worcester this fall?
I came to Worcester this fall mostly because of the bridge program, because my last school they didn't have at all the support that I needed, and also the teachers here are really really nice, and they if you're sick one day they would meet up with you, and they would like get over on what you missed.
Yeah, excellent. Yeah, and we'll have a chance to touch base a little bit more about the bridge program later on this evening, but sounds like you've had some really great relationships as well. Levi, I think you're our most senior person on this panel. You came with a sibling, which some of us do generally. How's that been in your transition?
It's been pretty nice. I've had 2 years ago when I was at my old school before I came to Worcester, I never saw my brother that much because I was in seventh grade. My brother he was a freshman. He was in freshman year, and I never really got to see him. And I think he got home 2 hours before I got home. So we didn't really have much time together. But now I see him every day, throughout the campus, hanging out with his friends. It's really nice.
Yeah, the family feel, the relationships we have across campus matter. And hopefully it's all hugs and high fives with your brother every day. Great. So thinking about that social life and community generally at Worcester, we hear it in the admissions office that there's always this sense of community. I want to think about that, Boston, from your perspective in early middle school, how you've been welcomed into the community and do school spirit. Like, do we have it? Like, are you feeling it on the regular? What does that look like for you?
Yeah, I definitely feel the school spirit, especially during Spirit Week when we have all the fun activities. EMS has been really nice because there's so many people that you can like have fun with during like recess, and they like split you up into different groups so that you can always like have fun with more people throughout the day. And some classes like overlap, and some are just like with your groups, and that's really nice.
Yeah, but there is some time throughout the course of the week to be with the upper middle schoolers, right?
Yeah, during agency hour and like lunch and recess.
Yeah, so you're not just kind of like in solely fifth and sixth grade, right?
Yeah.
That's great. No, and thinking a little bit too about befriending lots of different people around campus. We have 55 different towns and cities that families are coming to Worcester. Piper, you just moved up to ninth grade. And so seeing that yourself last year, being the newbie to then transitioning to the high school, what's it like trying to keep those friendships in so many different places?
Yeah. So it's like it's obviously like you get that like struggle like transitioning from grades and like everyone's like settling in with like new kids. But it's like also hard because like you all come from like so many different towns and so it's like hard to like connect with each other on weekends and stuff. Um, but you're also like getting in so many new kids from different places. Um, and so just like being able to like connect throughout the day and especially like during sports and stuff is like super nice because then you just like get that time to do like activities, but also you just get to like have fun with your friends and like talk. Um, and that's just like really fun. And you just have like so many people to like connect with. So it's nice.
Yeah. I think I spoke to Emily last week and you were on your way to the night out in Ridgefield. Did you go? I forgot to ask you that this week, but did you make it out last weekend?
Yes, I did. I went with a group of friends that I met here, and I had a lot of fun. We went to Deborah Ann's, we went ice skating, and we got to see a lot of people from UMS and EMS and Worcester School around Ridgefield, and it was really cool seeing them out of school. And Worcester provides great opportunities to see our friends out of school, just as in a school.
Awesome. Yeah, we kind of tried to take over Ridgefield for an evening last week and had some different opportunities in different places for people to get together. So thank you for sharing that. I do want to focus a little bit. Most of our audience this evening are looking at middle school. And so the typical day of middle school is really important to kind of understand and unpack like the why, right? Like, why do we do the things we do as a school? So, Emily, do you mind starting us off actually with like the start of the day? What's it feel like? How do you get into the day? Do we break it up with anything? And then when does it all kind of conclude in the middle school?
Normally we go to advisory, which is a teacher that we check in with, and it's like homeroom. And then we head to some academic classes. We could have specials, which is like art and all different other um, extracurricular stuff. And then we have lunch, we have recess, and then we spend most of the day doing academics, and then we have a lot of fun in other periods, and then we end the day either with music. Um, it's either chorus, ensemble, or music production, or with WIN. And at the end of WIN, we have jobs for around 10 minutes. And yeah,
What does win mean?
WIN is what I need. It's a place where you can go to any teachers you need help in history, science, English, or math, and anything else. And you can ask questions, work with other students on group projects. You can really take advantage of that period and some days not have homework.
Nice. Yeah, that's great. Boston, I think you're a bit of an athlete, and you really like the gym class at Worcester. What's that feel like for you?
Yeah, it's really fun. on Mondays and Tuesdays, I have it with my entire class, and then on Tuesdays and or Thursdays and Fridays, I have it with a separate smaller group. And so we're next week we're gonna go into our volleyball unit. We just finished handball, and we've just been like playing fun games this week. Yeah.
Excellent. Yeah. And I just wanted to think a little bit about like the why there. We want you to learn some of those skills and how to play the games before you actually get into like a team sport in the future, right? So I want to go over to Levi because you were experiencing that in middle school and then you transitioned to high school. Middle school ends at, is it 3:45, everybody? Thumbs up? Yeah, okay. So then we get into high school, it's a completely different sort of schedule. Levi, can you talk a little bit about the schedule and how it's different than middle school?
Well, high school, it starts at the same time, but I think the classes are scheduled differently. It's really nice because I'm actually able to have I think I have one free period a day except for Thursday, so I've been really focused on my honors math that I'm doing with my friend Jack. Um and we've really like just been trying to find times where we can meet with each other. But since we both have free periods during the same times, it's been really easy. Um the sports or the after school activities, they're really interesting because in middle school, I think I only had it for 45 minutes, but now I have it for an hour and a half. So right before fitness ended this trimester, we I was able to get like any workouts in that I wanted to get like for an hour and a half completely uninterrupted with all my friends.
Excellent. Yeah, it's definitely more immersive in high school, and we end the day at 5:30. So it's a little longer time on campus, 9 to 5:30. Um, in thinking a little bit about other elements of the middle school schedule, which are different, um, Abby, can I ask you a little bit about agency hour and what that's all about?
Yeah. Um, Agency hours pretty much. It's like you fill out this form and it's of like different activities that you can do, and it's after court flex time, and it's just like a fun, like if you want to like try like a sport like basketball, you have like a period to do that and like do it with your friends. Yeah.
And it's on Wednesdays for like an hour? How long is it?
Like 45 minutes.
2 hours? Am I seeing 2 hours, Emily?
I think it's 45 minutes.
Okay. So in thinking about that, you have a lot of different opportunities over the course of the week. We also have a chapel program at Worcester, and it's a time that we meet Mondays for middle school, Wednesdays for upper school. What have been some of the chapels this year that really resonated for you, and how has that experience maybe brought some interest into your thinking and learning? Piper, can I start with you?
Yeah. So I like chapel. For upper school, it's on Wednesdays. Um, and so the one we just had, we were focusing on a chapel talk of witness stones, which is something we do in middle school. Um, and basically, like, it's not religious. So there's like no pressure for that. And they just like talk about like a topic, or there's usually like an activity. So that's always fun. And you sit in your advisories for upper school, and middle school, I think. Um, and so they just like give their like talk about whatever it is, like a holiday or like an activity happening at Worcester, and then an activity, and it's just like really nice because it just gives you like some insight on like what's happening in like the world or the environment or like here at Worcester. Just like a great way to like connect with like not only Worcester but like everywhere else around you.
Awesome. And yeah, like students tend to run parts of the program. Faculty might also give a presentation. I think I heard Mr. Carone gave a pretty exciting one a few weeks ago. So yeah, it's a really great opportunity to kind of slow things down and think bigger than just our campus and who we are at Worcester. I also wanted to think a little bit more about Worcester prides itself on acknowledging everybody learns differently, right? We all have different styles of learning. We believe in neurodiversity is what, we talk about frequently. So, how have you had opportunities to maybe try something new or get the help you need? Like I heard it in WIN, but are there other things that come up for you in a supportive way that really allow you to be your best self, your best student? Can I start with, let's start with Abby, and then we'll bounce around a little bit.
I would say probably in math class, there's like a stand-up desk that you can like just go, and if you like just if it helps you like focus more, you're allowed to do that. And when you're like if you're like taking a quiz, you can if it's really loud, you can go to the back of the room and there's a desk and a teacher will like go and help you.
Awesome. Yeah, I have a standing desk in my office. I've never understood why we don't have that for, everybody. Levi, what are you taking advantage of?
Well, how I said earlier about the free periods, it's sort of like free, absolutely no teachers, but you're actually able to get work done. Office hours is sort of a more structured activity, which is during our jobs period in upper school. I think we have our jobs period for around 25, 30 minutes. And it's those 30 minutes that we have to work with our teachers on our assignments that we have maybe like overdue or we need extra help on them. So I've been really taking advantage on that, like I said, with my project that I've been working on.
Yeah, do you want to talk a little bit more about that project real quick? What are
Yeah.
you working on?
So I'm in geometry. We are working on our proofs project for embedded honors, and I actually just brought it home with me so I could keep working on it just in case it's due tomorrow, so I'm just trying to get enough in. It's been really good. Because there's other people that are also working on that same project. So I don't really feel like I'm the only one that needs extra help or extra time on this.
Excellent. And thank you for giving up some time tonight away from your proofs project. I really appreciate that. Boston, have you found any unique opportunities for finding new, learning, whether it be in class or outside of class?
Yeah, for me, since I'm in EMS, I don't like all of the math has been relatively easy for me. So this year I was able to go into up UMS math, which was really nice because I could finally like struggle a little bit, which was really nice because I've like never had anything that was very hard for me. So that was like really nice to try.
That's excellent, man. And I'm glad that you're being challenged the way you desire, right? Like we're all trying to do that. Emily, you're actually the newest person on the panel. So in your short time on campus, what have you taken advantage of? Has there been anything yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so I started recently, and I'm definitely trying to take advantage of all of Worcester's opportunities. They have a lot of great opportunities to take advantage of. For example, I'm doing embedded honors. They have that in UMS, 7th and 8th grade. I don't know about EMS. For that thing, they have it in basically every class, including Spanish and all the academic classes. And you complete a certain amount of cards or like tasks and assignments, and then after that you can get honors, which goes in your transcript for the year. So I'm almost done with. I've done a few cards in math, English, and history is the hardest one because we have to memorize a speech from the past. And then we have to study something in our town that's meaningful in history. So in Reading, I'm doing Park. And then there's also some other cool stuff that Worcester has to offer.
Excellent. No, that sounds like a pretty intriguing, curious, passion-driven experience and local, right? Who doesn't want to find out more about their hometown? Piper, I don't want to put you on the spot per se, but I know you've been using the bridge program. Do you mind talking a little bit about what that's been like from 8th grade to 9th grade?
Yeah, so I started last year and I never like gotten like support or anything in my public schools for like any of my learning disabilities. So being able to go from like nothing to having the bridge program was so nice. And like all of my teachers and like especially my bridge teacher last year were just amazing, and like constantly helping me. And we would have last year we had a bridge class every day and then twice on Thursdays, I believe. And this year we have it every day except for Wednesdays because of the different schedule. But this year I love it because we have three bridge teachers, and they'll like constantly flow like in and out of classes, depending on like the schedule. But like they'll always be there to help, and it's so nice because we have that period just for like bridge classes to get that support we need. And you can like retake tests or just like ask for help on like an assignment, or you could literally just use it for the time to work on something. So it's so nice to just like have that scheduled period and not have to just like kind of like fend for yourself, like asking teachers. Like you just get that built-in support. So it's so nice.
Yeah, and I mean, the teachers in ninth and 10th grade all the way down to 5th grade are pushing into classes. The bridge program teachers are in classes, basically helping as an adult, right? And witnessing what's going on so that when they do meet with you later, they can also work with you where you were at, right? And say, oh, I remember that, right? Like that's not so foreign to me. I do want to put one distinction out there because you brought it up. Thank you, Piper. Wednesdays do look a little different for an upper school student. I got a thumbs up from Emily. Thank you. What is a little bit more? Why did we tailor Wednesday that way? Like, what? How does it feel as a student who's kind of experienced academic classes and then Wednesday and then academic classes? Like, what do you experience on Wednesdays, Piper?
Yeah, so my Wednesday schedule looks like you start with advisory, and then you go to a like an elective period, which for freshmen we have freshman academy. And then you have your electives and then either chapel or lunch, and then that alternates. And then you have another elective, and then you go to your clubs period, and then jobs, and then your after school activities. So I really like love my Wednesdays because it's just like a break from my academics. And if I have a free period, I get to just catch up on some work. And if not, I have like the electives that I get to choose and that I really love. And so it's like a nice break from like having to just like work like in like all of my core classes. Um, so I like really like it's just like a nice like little breather for your week. So you're not just or sorry. So you're not just like constantly like going through the week. So it's so nice.
Yeah, breaking it up a little bit as well. Um, Emily might want to chime in here that the Wednesday schedule is different in middle school too. Could you articulate that a little bit?
Yeah, so for Wednesdays, normally what we do is we have a few different fun periods, and like Pepper said, it's a kind of a break from the rest of the week, and it's a day I always look forward to. It involves uh, agency hours, which are two periods during the day, each one around 45 minutes, I think. So they have a lot of opportunities. Like I'm doing photography and cursive right now. And there's also cohort flex time, which has different, like, there's different groups, like making a podcast, debating, making like an invention type thing, and there's lots of different stuff with that. They also have community time, which we can spend time with our community, all middle school. So, and then like this past Wednesday, we did a scavenger hunt around campus, and we had a task, and with our advisory, we went around to the woods all over school looking to do different tasks, which was really fun.
No kidding. Who won the scavenger hunt?
It wasn't really clear who won it, but I think we did a pretty good job.
Listen, we all won the scavenger hunt. Let's be real. Like if we got to hang out in the woods, what kind of world is this? Boston, and then I'm going to come back to Abby in a second. But Boston, I think you're in the woods a lot. Can you tell me what that's all about?
Yeah, so on Mondays, my group has Wilderness Monday, where after chapel we get to just like go around walking around campus having fun. And like last year we built like forts with sticks that we found in the woods. Sometimes we'll walk the cross country trail. We'll go down by the creek and look at stuff. It really is really fun.
Yeah, get out into nature and maybe there's some science or geese, maybe even for us to go see what they're all about. They've invaded our campus this week with the warmer weather, which has been great. Abby, I think you also wanted to say a couple of words about being in upper middle school. You've actually had the chance Boston had mentioned earlier, he's doing PE. Upper middle school, you've had a couple of sporting events this year. You want to tell us a little bit about that?
Well, there's like this thing called like athletics. So it's at the end of the day. I mean, before jobs or like yeah. But you get a choice every like season, I guess. So right now I'm doing basketball, but there is um I think it's called general sports where you do like everything sort of. But like you have games and stuff, which is really nice.
Nice. So you've worn the Worcester wear and played another team?
Yeah.
Cool. That's got to be a lot of fun. Nice. Um, so all of you have mentioned that you have really great relationships on campus, whether it be a peer, but I really want to think about the adults because there's 5 of you here. I want to hear from you. Maybe it's a coach, maybe it's a teacher, but what relationship have you established with an adult on campus that has really impacted you, right? That has had a profound difference in your life. And I want to go from the top down. So I'm going to start with Levi Piper. I'll go to Abby, Emily, and then Boston. All right.
So probably the teacher this year that I have the best relationship with is my advisor and my humanities teacher, Mrs. McLeod. She's always been like really helpful to me during advisory, which today we had a 2-hour long session with our advisors. I'm not sure if it was the same with middle schoolers, but it's the day of reflection or the morning of reflection where we focus on one of the what is it? I might need some help here.
One
One of
of our learning
yeah, learner
dispositions.
behaviors.
Yeah,
Yeah.
behaviors, right.
So this time I think we focused on perseverance and it was 2 hours long, but we had a break in between. It was really nice. But Mrs. McLeod, she's been really helpful. She's always talking to our entire advisory about like how good we are, how nice we are to everyone. We're always like our entire advisor loves Mrs. McLeod. She's always been helping people, no matter like what the assignment is. Just some people were talking about, I think juniors were talking about their history projects that they have to be working on. That's really difficult for them, but they're getting some extra time to work on that, which is really nice. And also in humanities, she always like she's always helping me if I need some extra help, extra time writing something or extra time reading. So yeah.
Excellent. Yeah. And thank you for persevering there, getting to that disposition. Piper.
Yeah, so I also think mine would be Miss McLeod. Like she's like the best. Like she's always there to help you. And like I go to humanities office hours like almost every day. And like she's like always there. And like especially like helping me through my injuries and like making sure I don't get too behind on my work. But I also say like I'm pretty like close with my journalism teacher, Miss Taylor, who's also my basketball and lacrosse coach. She's like the best, and I have a lot of her classes because I'm also in her yearbook club. Um, so on Wednesdays, I'm with her almost the entire day, and she's just the best. And so just like being able to just like be with her like a lot of times, and just like hearing her, especially for like coaching, she's like always there, and she's like always like teaching you like amazing skills and showing you like you don't have to like be like the best, just like keep doing like your best and just like keep persevering. It's just like so like great to be around someone like that. So I'd say like she's probably one of my favorites.
Somehow I muted myself. I made an error. Uh, Piper, I just want to ask the question that were you playing lacrosse last spring?
Yeah, I was.
You did. You got Thaler saw you and said, "You're coming with me. You're going to go play girls varsity lacrosse." How was that as an 8th grader? That feels a little.
Um, yeah, so that was like a really cool experience because I had never played lacrosse before last year. Um, so just like being able to just like say like, "Hey, I've never played before. I know like no clue how to play." And just like her being able to say like, "Oh, like that's okay. We'll teach you and like you're part of the team now." It's just like really cool for an 8th grader. And just like being able to be around like all of like the high schoolers and have that practice schedule is like really cool. And I was doing it with two other of my friends. And so like it was like so cool to just like have that experience and just have it make me a little more ready for freshman year. It was so cool.
Excellent. Abby, a relationship in your life.
I would say I have a good relationship with the bridge teacher, Miss Washington, because like I spend like the most time with her, whether it's in bridge and when or really like just in the middle of classes because like she's mostly always there. Um she's just a really nice teacher and she if you like ever like feel like giving up, she would sort of like work with you to like get your confidence up. Yeah, she's really nice.
Yeah, that's great. And thank you for sharing. Let's go to Emily.
So I've had a lot of opportunities and at Worcester and gotten to know some of the teachers really well, and they're all very welcoming and friendly. But one that has been really nice to me is Mr. Panone. I always go to his office with friends and say hi, and it's always really nice to see him, and he always has something nice to say, which is really fun, a good part of the day.
I've heard he also likes to give out treats per se. I
Yeah.
don't know. Yeah, that's
That's
another reason a lot of people show up.
maybe.
Good, good, good. And Boston.
Yeah, so for me, a good relationship that I have is probably Miss Dowd, my math teacher, because like she's really nice and kind. And like if you need help, she'll like pause and like help you, which is like really nice.
Yeah, I think our teachers are really responsible and monitoring the classroom, right? And saying, ooh, did that actually make sense? Right. And then slowing things down if we need to. And actually, that's what I want to do right now. I should emulate that a little bit. We're coming up on the last few questions and I'm trying to monitor the chat. So just as a quick reminder, if you as a parent in the community here are thinking about something and you want to ask it, please put it in the chat. I'll try to redirect it over to our panelists here as we're coming up on 35 minutes on the panel so far. A big question that we always get everybody is homework and how much work we're getting even as a middle schooler, right? That we end our day at 3:45 and then what? So I want to try to do a how are we balancing our time? It sounds like there's some time in the day. Transitioning to the high schoolers, we'll work our way back up to the high schoolers this time. In thinking about like now with a longer day, and I've heard some honors things in there. Do we have enough time to do the homework we need to do and also have, I don't know, a trip home and dinner with my parents and all that good stuff? So Boston, you want to kick us off? Like how's the homework for a early middle schooler?
It's really nice. So for ELA, we have just a packet of homework this week. It was like grammar based, and we can do it throughout the week and turn it in any day you want as long as it's complete. And it's due on Friday, but you can hand it in before that. And then for math, I get like sometimes it will be like a packet. Other times it'll just be a sheet. Sometimes I don't really have any homework. But previously I've gotten Zern, which is a math website where you can practice your math stuff, and I've gotten that, and that would be due at the end of the week. But for the other kids in math, they have also a packet.
That's great. Yeah, week to week, but like weekends, there's nothing going on, Boston?
On weekends, Sundays, most Sundays I have track meets, but that's never a problem for homework.
You're putting in some hours running. That's great, man. I mean, I don't want to race you anytime soon. I'll say that. Emily, how much homework you got this year?
So the past 2 months that I've been at Worcester, I've noticed a difference with that. We have the teachers are very, very flexible with homework, but they still like want you to do your work. So in math, the teacher, Miss Clark, which she's really nice, she doesn't always give homework. Occasionally she'll give maybe a page and we'll have a day to do it. But if we don't end up finishing that night or we're busy or something comes up, she's very good with that, and she'll let us have the next day to do it, and she always like, yeah, she's like good with that. And also sometimes in English we have, or history or science, we might have like projects or stuff like that we didn't finish in class, so we get the time at home, but that's only if you need it. One of my favorite things about Worcester and how they handle homework is that they're very good like with your schedule. So like they might give you, like I'm joining a book club with my in English where we're doing book clubs, and I'm so we're gonna have like a certain amount of pages, so it's like 30 pages, and we'll have a week to do it. And she's so we can either do it all in one night, or maybe like 2 pages every night, or I don't know, something like that. Is so we can really mold to your schedule. You could have it all one day or however you want, which is really nice. But the teachers are very good with homework, and most of the work is probably projects or stuff you don't finish in class.
Gotcha. Yeah, and you said you were taking a couple of honors things. That's in
Oh,
addition to the work you're
yeah.
doing for class, right?
Yeah, for honors, I feel like I can get a lot done in like when with that stuff. Most of the time it's pretty simple, depends what you're doing. So one of them is join a writing competition. So I actually previously joined one, actually maybe a few months ago. The results are coming in this month, and I had you like enter the contest, your response, and some other information, and into a thing, and you have time to really do it at home, but you can really choose when you want to do it. Most classes, at least for the middle school, if you have like the whole year to get honors, but I think sometimes it's per like trimester, but that's one thing. So
Thank you for sharing. And I'm gonna move over to Abby. If I heard correctly, you're a big time fencer, which I love to brag about all the niche things we do in life. So you're able to manage the fencing schedule with the homework schedule? Like, what's that all about?
So I am, just because, so in Win, what I need, it's on an average, I would probably, if I like didn't have one, I would probably get like maybe an hour and 30 minutes of homework, but like when I do Win, I sort of manage it by, I do the things that I like is hard for me to do with like a teacher, so I get that support, and then the easy things I would say I do at home, which would be like maybe 10 or 15 minutes.
That's super smart. Yeah, do the hard things with some support around you. I love that. But you're doing like 5 hours, 10 hours of fencing outside of Worcester?
Uh, I think it's like two 2 hours and 30 minutes. I think it's 3 hours a day of fencing. Yeah, and I do it like I think.
That's a lot of fencing. That's great. I'm not look, I've learned some things tonight. Not race Boston, sword with Abby. No, not doing it. You're doing foil, right?
Yeah.
Cool, 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 cool. That's a lot. And you're totally able to time manage that, and you really enjoying the fencing world.
Yeah.
Cool. That's great. Let's go to Piper and then Levi.
Yeah, so I'd say personally I don't get that much homework. Um, and like I'd say like bridge helps a lot with like getting that done, and especially office hours and my free periods too. I love doing homework in school, so I have free time after school, especially when you have that like an hour and a half after school doing sports. Um, so it's like it like gives you the motivation to do the work in school, even if like you're procrastinating a little bit. You like get it done in school. So I'd say I don't typically get that much homework. Maybe like a couple like assignments I need to finish up, but not too bad. It's actually really nice.
Yeah, that's great. And Levi.
I've sort of had the same experience as Piper. So right now, here at Worcester, we have a different sort of assignments. So we use something called Altitude, which I'm pretty sure it's only Worcester uses. If I'm not sure, but so we have playlists for our all of our assignments. We call them cards, and right now my playlist is looking pretty good. I have all my cards are like due in like a week, like 2 weeks. So I'm really good on that. I have a lot of time to do all of my assignments, and also in humanities, most days we get usually the end half hour just to work on our humanities based assignments, which is really helpful. And the only homework that I get in my math class is just the in class work. So I just have to take a picture of it and then submit the card.
We're not so unique that we're the only school using altitude, Levi, but I like your sales pitch there that we're so different. Emily, you had mentioned something about altitude as well. You seem to like it.
Yeah, so I really like Altitude. At my previous school, I used Google Classroom, which I think is pretty popular. But Altitude is a great thing. So you have columns that you can make with different subjects, and then the cards get posted into one place, and then you can sort them to your classes. The cards teachers post, they could be assignments, and in the card, it's the instructions. It has a rubric of everything, and it has it's like step by step that you could check off, like on a checklist, of instructions that we have to do, which are very clear and very easy to use. It has a due date when it's due, and then you can comment the teacher through that. And then there's a place that you could submit your work to, and then sometimes the teachers might ask questions, and we answer those. But Altitude is a great platform. It helps you stay organized, and it's been one of a great experience and make things a lot easier to organize because that's one thing I struggle in. So it's really nice being able to like have an organized system.
Yeah, all in one place, right? It's a one-stop shop. You don't have to pick and pop around the campus. So I'm looking at the time. We're at the 45 mark. I do want to be just mindful of last sort of questions kind of coming up from the audience. You all have been remarkable. Again, this is your first panel ever, and I just got to commend you on that. To just think through like your brave character coming up today. So I want to ask the last question that we try to ask all of our students on a panel like this. Like when you're crazy as it sounds, 40 years old, you're out of Worcester, you're past college, and you're in your life, right? Whatever that is. You're thinking about those days at Worcester, and you're like, man, that was a really cool day we had doing whatever, right? Um, I'm going to go youngest to oldest. All right. And I want to think about what was that one memory that you had or have had thus far, because we got plenty of time left, that was just so memorable that it's going to stay with you for life. So, Boston, what do you got for us?
For me, it was probably last year during April when we had DQ Day, which is Don Quixote Day, where basically, like during first or second period, the chapel bell rings and you all like run up and like gather around the head of school, and he just explains like the origins and stuff. And then you can like get changed into like dress down stuff, and then you can just like play around the entire campus with no classes whatsoever. And there's like burgers and hot dogs out on the lawn with lemonade and stuff, and there's ice cream. And my last year, my class, we played a game of infection across the entire campus.
Oh, that is so cool. Can you invite me to Infection this year? You promise? Okay, good, 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 good. Abby, since September.
Um, I would probably say it was Spirit Week because it was just really fun. Yeah, I liked I think it was like when you wear all yellow, it was really cool because it was really bright.
Yeah, each class gets a different color. We have like a color war sort of thing. It's leading up to homecoming too. So when you're 40, you'll be coming back for that too. That'll be great. Emily, couple of months in.
Yeah, 2 months in. So I've had a lot of great memories at Worcester in the past 2 months. Made a great friend group and people. Great experience at the school so far. Love it. And one of my favorite memories is probably, so I wasn't actually there, but when I was looking at the Worcester School, I saw a video of a teacher explaining something, and he said, my favorite part of Worcester is when kids understand the like aha moment, and I can really relate that to that, like the moment where you're like, oh my god, yes, that's when I finally understand. So I really like that. But then at Worcester, my favorite experience has probably been um, lunches, because the food is really good compared to my old school, and the chef is really kind. So we can always like talk to him and have a relationship with him and really like see him, give comments, and talk about that. And I that's a really fun period of the day for me.
Yeah, Chef Rick's a legend on campus, as we talked about at the outset. I thought I saw a bunch of cookies going out today with our morning of reflection. So everybody kind of got a cookie at the end of that, which was great. Let's go, Piper Levi.
Yeah, so like I totally agree with Boston. Like I love DQ Day. Um, but I gotta say my probably one of my favorite memories was last year during the cross season. We went to the HVAL finals, which is the like the championship league we're in. And so I went with my team and we went like all the way to Williams School, which was like 2 hours away. And so I loved the bus ride and then like all throughout the game. And it was just like incredible, just like watching this like as a team. And then we ended up winning. And so that was like so fun. And the bus ride back was amazing. And we got to have like trophies and we all got like shirts. And it was so fun to just be able to like have that experience and just like celebrate with the team. So it was just such an amazing experience.
Yeah, that there's no better moment than on a bus ride home after a victory, right? Especially that one being so big and that was a two-peat, right, for the lacrosse team.
Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah, Mrs. Thaler reminds me often. Levi, last but not least.
So this seems to be like a very popular answer throughout Worcester. So I'm gonna give a little backstory first. So, my now friend, his name is Patrick. I wasn't really friends with him last year. He was my advisory. He was in like some of my other classes, like science. But on DQ day, I saw him on the bench, and he had an RC car, and I was like, "Oh, that's so cool. Where'd you get that?" And he's like, "Oh, yeah, I got it like a few years ago." And then we decided to like put cardboard on the back of it and deliver ice cream to all like the people all around campus. And that was just a really fun activity. And now he's like the nicest kid I've ever met. He's super nice. He's my best friend, and yeah, it's a really great experience. If it wasn't for DQ Day, I wouldn't have that friend, which is really nice.
We're gonna call it RC Eats, like Uber Eats. I see a vision in your future here around Worcester's campus. Look out, Chef Rick. Well, thank you all. This was such a great panel. I need to give you a virtual round of applause because this was by far one of my favorite I've ever hosted, moderated. This was wonderful.